Okay. Hey friends, Sarah Fela here, your life coach, helping you do this motherhood thing and life with sanity. So, I'm hitting the wall. This was like a super fun conversation that I just had with one of my friends, and I want to let you in on it. So, this morning I was listening to a scholars call. So, I'm a part of Self Coaching Scholars at the Life Coach School. If you don't follow Brooke Castillo, you should follow her podcast, join Scholars, do all the things because she's just like, her work is incredible. So, all that to say, I was listening to a call, and then I was telling one of my friends about it because we were processing manuals we have, which manuals are just ways that we expect people to operate, right? We assume that we all have the same textbook as to what you do in a social situation, how you handle your finances, how you do, you know what I mean? Like we have all these like unwritten manuals that actually nobody knows about. But then we come into relationships with these expectations and then we're disappointed, but like it's because of our own fault, right? Like, so this one was a little bit different, but she was coaching a mom through, so that the situation was she's not happy with her house, right? So, and she just wants to feel settled and at peace at her house and find like, when is all the work going to be done? Bought the house, loves the house, but then there's just all these projects that need to be remodeled. And she was like, so tell me about the room, and she was like, well, the room, like, or tell me about something in the house. And she was like, well, the bedroom's pink, right? Okay. And that just drives her nuts. Like, so every time she walks into her bedroom, she's like, oh my gosh, I hate it in here. Like, I can't do this. Here's the thing, you guys. A pink bedroom doesn't make you crazy. A pink bedroom doesn't make you hate your house. It's your thoughts about the pink bedroom that make you crazy. But that's not actually where I'm going with this. The even better piece that I was thinking about was when she followed up, she was like, well, why haven't you just painted the room? And she's like, well, time. And Brooke was like, well, like if you really wanted it painted, wouldn't you find the time? And she was like, I guess. But this was the best part. She hates this room so much that she's like, Brooke was like, why would you paint something that you love? You hate this room so much that you've completely not even like opened yourself up to ways to actually like work through it, right? And in typical coaching, it's like, all right, let's get the room painted, let's do this, this. But really, this is like a mind thing that needs to be figured out. Okay, so why am I allowing a circumstance of a pink room to so like hinder my ability just to like function in my own house and to have power and just to like fix it? And then I was like, this is so huge because this is what I've been working on in my life. So this is good. I'm getting there, guys. Emotions, right? How many times do we label emotions that we hate them, so we don't allow them, and then we never look at them? Okay. You guys, I know that's not rocket science. I know that that's obvious. But as someone who has spent the majority of her life trying to stay super neutral, super calm, don't get angry, like I have valued, I think the one emotion that I have like pushed away the most is anger. And in the last year, I'm starting to explore it, and it's kind of scary. When you don't acknowledge anger for like 20 years and then you start being like, oh, I need to take a look at this. Oh, it's kind of crazy. I have a blog post coming and you guys are going to love it. It's when I destroyed my vacuum because I lost it. And it was completely irrational and dumb and crazy. And it was just one of the first times in my life that I let myself just let emotions run. Like, I just don't do that. I've never done that. So all that to say, back to this thing, I want to ask you to think about, is there emotion, an emotion that you have labeled as like, just like awful, like you will never do? Like, I even remember like anger, I don't know for what reason, has always just been one that I am like, no, never. But there's righteous anger, right? There is a time to be angry, and you can be angry without destroying a vacuum because you don't need to, but you know what I mean? I remember saying like, I will never marry a man with a temper. There's just all these like this about anger, and we all have them. Maybe for you, it's that you're not ever going to feel sad, or you're not going to allow, like when you're disappointed, you don't just allow it. And I think this journey that I'm on in this like second half of life is, how do I allow myself to feel these emotions, not push them away, and then in that I can actually work through them and move forward into more wholeness, right? Okay. You're like, that's not rocket science. But it was just really profound for me because I realized how, man, like I've even prided myself on not being an emotional person, right? And that's like denying part of my humanity. Like we are heart, heart, mind, soul, spirit. Like we are like multi-dimensional beings, and our emotions are actually there to give us clues to what's going on. And they're not right or wrong. But when we label them right or wrong, like if I label anger as wrong, I'm not going to actually look at what is this anger saying. And in that moment, when I went and I did some journaling about the vacuum situation, the thought that I was having that caused me to be angry was I'd had enough. It had been a weekend of disciplining one of our children that I just literally, like I had just reached my limit. Like, and then he just did one final thing after we'd already had like a 40-minute like family conversation of how we're going to work around these things. And then he just crossed a boundary again. And I just lost it. Like, but the thought was I've had enough. So that anger for me, if I choose to actually let it teach me, was a sign that, oh, I have limits and a limit was just crossed. And now I need to actually go and address and figure out how to like reinforce this limit, set the limit. What are the consequences when people cross this limit with me? As opposed to just being like, don't ever get mad, just be fine. Just be like, yeah. Like, okay. So there's my thought. It's more of a free flowing thought today that I just wanted to share because it's an interesting journey I'm on right now about just acknowledging that I'm human, acknowledging emotions. My whole theology is being like, wow, like rewritten. And it's this invitation that God has me on right now. And part of that is owning my humanity and acknowledging that I have emotions. I get angry, I get sad, I get discouraged, but not allowing those to actually run the show, but allowing those to be my teacher. And through that, working through things. So I will talk to you guys later.